Welcome to Over the Falls podcast, episode number 41. This week, we sat down with Rico Martin, where we discussed his athletic coaching business, social media, growing up in the seaside town of Aberystwyth, early struggles of fatherhood, fears, and some great tangents along the way. This episode is brought to you by Total Plumbing on Glanarafon Industrial Estate, Aberystwyth. They're a Welsh family-owned plumbers merchant with 17 branches across South and West Wales, and are part of the LBS group, selling all types of plumbing and heating, and they also have a bathroom showroom where all budgets are catered for. Opening times are Monday to Friday, 7:30am till 16:30pm, and 8am till 12pm on Saturdays. Pop in to see them, or give them a call on 01970 606 040, or email aberystwyth@total-plumbing.com. Yeah, we obviously know you from way back, Rich, but I mean, for people who don't know you,
we've grown up together.
Let's go back.
Let's
go back to the beginning.
Go back to the beginning, man.
Right to the beginning.
1984.
1984.
Swansea. A good year.
Oh, you were born in Swansea?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
I got nothing to complain about. I had the best start in life, I think, which was strong mother and no money. I reckon that's the best way to grow up. Have no money.
Strong combo.
Yeah. Yeah. Just feral, you just get on with it. But Oriel, of course, has always been there.
Yeah.
Hero.
Yeah, but he had a great childhood. We all did, didn't we?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Aberystwyth is such a great place. That's why Mum moved from Swansea when we were 1 and 2. Didn't want to grow up there.
So what was the tie back to Aber then? How did she have people here that she knew? What was it?
She
from
grew up
Aber?
here.
Oh, okay.
But she went to uni in Swansea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Met my dad. They were married for 2.5 years, just enough time to have me and my brother. And she was like, this isn't working out. Brought us back here to grow up. And thank God.
Worked out well.
Thank God.
Yeah. Is he from Swansea then? Your dad?
My dad,
Yeah.
Yeah, born and bred. And died. He died recently. Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, God rest him. Yeah, I didn't know him that well. You guys have never met him, have you?
No,
not
I don't
once.
talk about. I don't know him. Don't know him that well.
I remember Muriel saying that he was ill, and I wasn't sure how it panned out. I wasn't
That's
sure.
my one regret, actually.
Wasn't sure if I should have asked.
What do you mean?
A bit more.
About 6 months ago, we got a half brother, 2 half brothers down there, Sean and Sam. Sam, who we know quite well, he reached out about 10 years ago. We're really good mates with him now. But he said, Dad's not well, he's in hospital. They're going to turn the machines off and he's probably going to die. I was in Fuerteventura at the time on a training camp. My brother was like, I'm busy next couple of days, I can't make it down. And they turned the machines off and he got up and asked for his phone. And he was like, all right.
Oh my... Sorry, I'm not
No,
laughing.
laugh. Yeah, it's funny.
I thought he was the Terminator.
Yeah. And he was fine. All the hospital staff laughing. That guy should have been God, heart failure. Something with his heart, Oh my
Goodness.
So you're like, oh well. And I knew that at some point, it's the beginning of the end, isn't it? Stuff like that. So I knew at some point he was going to die. And I'd said, I better come down to see him, say hello. And I never did. And then Sam texted probably about 6 weeks ago and said, he died last night. Sepsis, I think it was.
Okay,
I don't know if that was the official diagnosis, but he died pretty suddenly.
It's blood poisoning, isn't it? Sepsis.
Something like that, yeah.
Sneaker.
Sorry to hear that, mate. That's,
Yeah, that's all right. Like I said, I didn't know him that well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not someone I hated or anything. It's just a guy I didn't know that well.
Yeah.
Found out more about him at the funeral than I've ever found out. Because there's people there he knows, right? My dad's a hell of a boy. Turns out we got another brother. Like you were saying, you met some new family down
Yeah, I
at the
did.
funeral. You were at today. Yeah. So we've got a 5th brother called Jamie, who we had steaks with the night before the funeral. And he only found out a month before that was his dad. That our dad was his dad.
Wow.
So our dad was a boy back in his day. Wow. And there could be a sister somewhere as well, apparently.
What a guy.
Yeah.
What on earth?
So, yes, we got a 5th brother now, Jamie, yeah.
Wow.
Swansea
That's pretty
lifestyle.
impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you started up a dialogue with Jamie? Are you in touch with him?
Yeah, he's going
now?
to come up in a couple of weeks. Yeah, he came to the funeral, but he didn't know if you should come or not because he's like, I don't even know this guy.
Yeah.
I just found out it's my dad a couple of weeks ago
that.
after he died. Never had an opportunity to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went out for steaks the night before. Me and my brother Chris, of course you know Chris, and the other brother Sam. We went out for steaks with this new boy Jamie we hadn't met, and it was a good laugh. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just-
That's really nice.
yeah,
Gaining a brother.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mad.
yeah. It's
Blown-
mad.
blown away.
But my dad's a motorbiker, through and through. Loved motorbikes. So did my mum back when she was a teenager. So at the funeral, there was 50 motorbikes there leading the car, which is pretty cool.
That is
So if you're a
cool.
motorbike, you're a motorbiker, and it's the thing you do. And
Where was it in Swansea then? Where was...
just at the creme. Do you know the main crematorium? Is it up in Forest Vach or something?
Oh, probably.
It's up there somewhere.
Yeah.
quite high up on the hill. And I was speaking to people, did you know him at all? And they go, we knew who he was, but we knew he was a motorbiker, so we'll come out. So I think all the motorbikers hope that's what their funeral's going to be like as well. There's going to be a shitload of bikes there. Can we swear?
Yeah, of course. Say whatever you want.
No censorship.
Say whatever you want.
School and stuff, Rich, when you were younger, do you enjoy school?
No.
Didn't enjoy it at all?
Not academic at all. Do you know, if I went through school now, with the awareness I have of like people, I would have my own teacher. You get those kids that have their own teacher. Remember those ones?
Disruptive.
Yeah, they haven't got the budget for that anymore, mate.
I just couldn't read. Still can't read. I could read like a sentence or two, but I couldn't read a paragraph. I would start losing interest, or sometimes I'd read it from the bottom up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I'll read the bottom sentence and go, it doesn't really work out. So I'll climb up the sentence, try to make sense of it before I get to the top.
That's really interesting.
That's not a conscious thing I'm doing.
No.
I just do it.
I wonder if I suppose you don't want to label yourself with anything, do you? You don't want to sort of like, have you ever thought about getting some sort of, not test or anything, but like, you could have like ADHD or something, you don't know?
I'll definitely have that, yeah.
Do you reckon?
Because there's a friend of mine, Mark, he's a dad of some of the boys that ride at the bike park, and he said, I think he's late 50s, and he's recently diagnosed with ADHD. And I can't remember, he comes across England to the bike park, and he comes through Birmingham on the M6, is it, the motorway there? And I said, I can't go on that motorway, because the brakes in the tarmac, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but boom, 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 boom. It goes for about 20 miles,
Chevrons.
and I can't do it. It like starts to boil my blood. I have to go on the toll.
M6 toll.
Yeah. And he goes, I can't either. He goes, I do exactly the same as you. And they go, oh, by the way, I got diagnosed with ADHD a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, I definitely have. But school, God, I just didn't want to be there. Just looking at the teacher, not interested in what the teacher's saying. And then I'm looking out the window. Then the teacher's saying to me, what did I just say? And I'm like, I don't know.
I hate that question.
Yeah. What did I just say? It's humiliating.
I don't know.
Then they say it again like 5 minutes later. The teachers liked me though. I was quite likable, so I kind of got away with it.
Cheeky.
Yeah, and at the parents' evening, it'd always be like, he's just a daydreamer who just it's at 50 and has got out.
I like asking that question, the academic question, because you don't need to be academic to become successful.
There's loads of ways.
Do you?
There's loads of ways around it, yeah.
Yeah,
unless you want to be a lawyer or a doctor,
a
professional in something like that.
There's avenues you have to go down then, isn't there?
But I think, school and university, they churn out employees, don't they? So I think if you want to go another route, then it's not the be all and end all, is it? For sure.
What made you want to go down the fitness personal training path?
Total chance.
Total chance. Yeah.
Was
it?
I was working in Motor World on the industrial estate, the motor factors.
Good times.
Very different.
Yeah, doing some like beach lifeguarding and stuff, and just kind of didn't know what I was going to do. Chris was in uni, my brother Chris.
In Aber.
Yeah, with John Wells. They went to do sports science for some reason. Yeah.
Amazing.
And when you're on the sports science degree, you could do a gym instructor's qualification at the sports centre.
Okay.
You could say, I want to do it. And then you'd get on it. And my brother was telling me he was going to do that instructor's qualification. I said, that sounds like fun. And he goes, well, you can just pay. You can just pay and do it. You don't have to be in sports science. So I'll do that then. And that was like 2002 or 2003 or 4. I've been at the sports centre ever since.
That's a long time.
Total chance. I found the thing
I
was going to be the best at. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So did you enjoy it straight away?
Yeah.
Do you think,
I did.
Oh, do you know what? I like this.
Yeah, I love lifting weights straight away. Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was something that I kind of saw a future in. And I think that's the main thing back then, isn't it? If you can see yourself like, I could do this for a while.
Yeah. It's quite rare though, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to everyone. That's like you're saying. It's lucky you had that.
Total luck. Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't know what the hell I'd be doing now.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Do you ever think about that?
Well, the lucky thing is you don't know.
No.
You never know what would have happened if you didn't meet Kat or whatever. No. You just don't know what would happen because you can't see it.
Fighter pilot or something.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been a billionaire.
You were big on like how engines worked and stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to fix my own
the
cars
mechanics
and stuff. Yeah, I still do that.
Aberystwyth, you went to a course?
Aberystwyth.
Oh yeah, I did engineering, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
But what did I do after that?
Yeah, where's the gap?
I don't know. Yeah, I came out. I worked in like Bangor Garage as an apprentice there. Hated it. So I quite like working on my own car stuff. But in a garage, you're just like changing oil all day.
Oh right, yeah.
Doing like the scut work. Didn't like that at all. So yeah, I found this career in fitness I loved. Yeah, first 10 years didn't really do much. It's taken me 20 years to get where I am now, but I could have probably done it quicker.
How look in hindsight now.
Well,
so
I was
what
just pissing around. I wasn't really that interested in trying to get better. I was just filling my diary with people, and I suppose I learnt a lot. That kind of. I don't know. I think a lot of people have to get through the first 5 to 8 years of doing whatever they think they want to be doing, just to get all the shit out of the way. Because you've got no idea about people or training styles or being on time, you know, when you work. Well, now I'm like seriously on time for everything I ever do. I'm like an hour early for everything. And I think that comes from working to a hourly schedule every day. I got one person in at 8, one person at 9, one person at 10, 11. So I quite enjoyed that.
But they're not all local either, are they? So how does that work? Do you have to drive?
Now?
Well, right now, yeah, jump into like...
Well, now I only see about 3 or 4 people a week in person. Very rare, yeah. And sometimes I'll drive to people who are clients in like Taunton or Scotland or something, or France or whatever. I'm not going to drive to France, but I have clients in like Norway and things.
Bloody hell.
You know, and I'll see them from time to time. But it's just like a couple of phone calls a year, really, and I just plan them online. Because if you're, like, you know, I train people to be better at their sports now. It's not just, you know, 45-year-old women who want to lose a bit of weight.
Yeah.
So you go through all of that. Then, like a doctor would be like a general, you know, what do they call them?
Practitioner.
GP. Yeah, is it general practitioner? Is that
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it stands for.
So you can do that, or you can specialise from there, can't you? Some people stay as GP, and then some people go on to do surgery or hearts or whatever, and as specialist as you want. So now I train people to be better at sports. It tends to be at the moment mountain biking and motorsport and some motocross stuff.
So
It's just gone that way though. I haven't like.
So if someone's already like at the top of their game,
Yeah.
what benefit do they have coming to someone like you?
They need to meet the demands of their sport. So if physically they're being held back, then they need
Okay.
to have a proper structure in place. So usually I would take on like a new client. I don't train teams as such, you know, like Scarlett, something that's never really interested me. I like working with individuals. So I tend to get a request for training off someone when they're moving from like amateur to pro or youth to junior or junior to elite or something, when there's like a change and they're like, fuck, I've got to get my act together. And I think a lot of young athletes that I train as well, sort of the 15, 16-year-olds, it's usually their parents that reach out and say, you know, this our son, daughter has some talent. We're going to give it 3 years of our best and just see what happens. Because then after that 3 years, you know, by the time they're 17, 18, 19, well, maybe not 17, but 18, 19, 20 for sure. If they're not at the high end of it, then they're gone now in sport. They'll just drift away.
Small window.
Yeah.
Do you ever get kids that come in and you can see that they don't overly want to be there, but maybe their parents are making them go?
Not anymore. Usually, you get, when I'm in the old days, when I was just training everyone, like as a general personal trainer, I'd get husbands who were there because their wives had made them to go.
Really?
Yeah. Right. Or the doctor or something like those people don't want to be there. They don't last long. But now the kids are usually like, this is what I want to do. You know, I've asked my dad to reach out to you or whatever. And, you know,
so
they're
really driven.
pretty driven. The kids are so focused these days. Like when I was 16, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just surfing trap with you guys.
It's changed a lot, isn't it? It's a big shift.
Yeah, they know what it takes and they know what they want to do and they're seriously driven. It might even be a better way because by the time they're 20, they know if they're going to be a professional rugby player, a mountain biker, or whatever. They know by then.
Yeah.
They're like, this isn't going to work out. I'm going to do something else. And I'm only 20.
Yeah.
Instead of dragging it out.
16 probably.
Probably, yeah.
Particularly in rugby, if you're playing for like the under 16s and then maybe the under 18s, I think you're probably you probably know, don't you? Whether you're going to go on.
Well, there's a swimmer in the Olympics last night. He only started swimming when he was 16.
That seems so late.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, the commentator said, you know,
really late for swimming.
Well, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
He said, you know, your chance isn't blown if you haven't got there by 10, 11, 12. This guy is proof that you can do it from that age, which is, I think it's rare.
You could, they're outliers, only you can't.
I think that's so rare. Because one of my questions was, does hard work always beat someone who's genetically maybe gifted?
What talent you mean?
Yeah.
Like
because in that case, if that 16-year-old swimmer, he's obviously got some natural talent if he hasn't been doing a ton of swimming.
Let's say he's 21 now, for example. He did it from 16 onwards.
Yeah, but he's swimming against people who
been doing their whole lives.
Training since they were 7, 8.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's obviously talent there, isn't there?
Yeah.
You don't know the full story, do you?
No.
He could have come from, I don't know, something similar. I don't know what that would have been. And there's a decent transfer of technique straight over to that for whatever reason, you know. Probably an athletic intelligence through the roof, you know. Like meaning that if you watch someone do something in your head, you're like, oh, I can do that. And you kind of can.
Yeah.
You know, so some clients I have, I'll do something relatively technical with a barbell, like a clean. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they try it and it looks pretty good already. But some people are like, oh, okay, this, and it takes a while. Some people are just, boom, and they got it. And they're like the best people to train. You just show them once and they're like, yeah, okay.
Nice.
But some people are like naturally gifted at nearly every sport they try.
Yeah,
they're good at golf.
Athletic intelligence. They're just
bloody, you know, in the, whatever, golf or cricket, whatever they're doing, they're just good at it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you call it, is it? The intelligence of it.
Yeah.
Intelligence.
You just kind of know where your hands are and
Yeah.
And I think those movement patterns you develop as a really young kid, it's really hard. If that swimmer you're talking about had done nothing, you know, been like a gamer or something, or an academic, there's no way he would have had those movement patterns. But I think sometimes those outliers give people false hope because they go, well, that guy didn't do anything until he was 16, so maybe I can. Maybe I'm going to be a better athlete later on. And sometimes you're just blasting money and time, you know. Like some people definitely want to tell them, like, you haven't got what it takes. You know, you're going down the wrong avenue. If you're competing because you enjoy competing, but often when you talk to these people, they're like, oh, I want to be the best, I want to do this. And you're like, pff. You know, I'd never crush someone's dream, but...
You can see it quite early, I guess, can't you?
Yeah, some people are... But then if you look at all the greats from all time, they're always slightly delusional.
I think
about
you've
what
got
they
to
can
be,
achieve.
haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to dream big.
Yeah, because they actually believe it, right, which helps.
But they can visualize it as well, though.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like Conor McGregor, to bring him into the mix. He
Yeah.
always visualized it, didn't
Love
he?
Conor McGregor. What an athlete, what a businessman, and like a,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
He's a success.
But I mean,
let's
he
say.
was purposely staying on the dole to train because he knew one day he would be where he is now.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a hell of a thing to
have
visualize
that.
it.
Yeah, and he talks about that now.
Yeah.
You know, he had mentors back then who were preaching that type of stuff, saying, you know, visualize what you want, say it out loud, don't keep it to yourself. Say I'm going to be the best, or I am the best, or this is what I'm going to do. And then it comes true, you know, it kind of happens. Whereas if deep down you think, I haven't got what it takes, but I want to be really good, or it's probably not going to happen either. You really have to believe it. And I don't know, it's just so cutthroat, isn't it? Like if you look at like Josh Hathaway, for example, you know, Darren's son just played
Yeah.
for Wales in Australia.
Amazing.
If you look back at, you know, from the age of 10, he was like quite focused on what he wanted to do. In the junior rugby, he was like running rings around everyone,
Yep.
driving
A
to Llanelli,
stand-up.
driving to Tenby to play, driving to Llanelli, driving to Swansea, driving to Cardiff, constantly just driving everywhere. And you know, to get to where he is now, you'd have to go through, you know, just be good for play for school. Then you go to town, you play for town, you're good there as well, then you get chosen to play for county. Then you go from Aberystwyth, you go Scarlets West. That's the general route. Or Llandovery.
Yeah.
But they go back to Scarlets anyway. Llandovery
like a
feeds to
feeder, is it?
Scarlets. So you go Scarlets West, you have to be exceptional there. And you play in like an 8-game series against Cardiff North, Cardiff South, Scarlets East, and all these people play each other. Then you need to be selected for Scarlets combined to play that, and then you play a small series at that. Then you might get a junior contract with the Scarlets men's team. Then you have to be exceptional there when you get your opportunity, which won't be a lot.
No.
And then you have to be exceptional where you are at Scarlets. But then he got picked up from Scarlets, went to Gloucester, and there was a lot of politics, a lot of chaos there as well. But then he was playing for Wales in the 20s there too. But he got, because I believe, I'm not 100% sure, because he went out of Wales to play at Gloucester, he wasn't allowed to play for Wales in the 20s anymore because they got upset with him. Then he played for England in the 20s in the next Six Nations.
Oh.
Scored a hat-trick in his debut in 15 minutes playing for England under 20s. It doesn't matter. Even if he just got given the ball to run over the line, he was there, he finished it. And then went back to Gloucester and then went to play for Wales. So it's about 10 cuts, you know. And these kids are like, oh, I want to play for Wales. You know, my son's got talent.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Long path.
It's not
a lot
enough.
of hurdles.
Yeah.
And
And
it
the
could've gone
whole
wrong.
family's got to be into it. Got to bury money in this dream and time, which you don't get back. You can earn money again. You don't get the time back.
No.
And it could have gone wrong at any moment as well.
Yeah,
There's
it
so
could have had a
many- there's
career-ending
risk, you know.
injury. Yeah, it could have been
Rookies.
scouts there, and you have a bad game. You know,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
But if you're the parent, not if it is Josh Hathaway or whoever it might be, if you see some form of talent in your kid, you're going
You
to do
want
it,
allowed
though,
to
right?
flourish, don't you?
You're going to have to do it, aren't you? You think, because you never know what if. Because you see it now where kids are playing football and some of them playing for Swansea at like under 7, under 8.
Yeah.
You would do it.
Yeah, you
I know I would.
just want to give them every opportunity.
Of course
wouldn't
you would.
We didn't have
You
it
wanna-
back then. There wasn't enough money around back then. And there wasn't the structure and the social media and stuff. We couldn't really see. You know, my brother played for Swansea under 15s a couple of times, but after like going down a few times, he's like, I'm not doing this.
It's a hell of an effort
Yeah.
for the parents, the whole family.
And it's just, I think, you know, I would discourage most people at age 15 from trying to be a professional athlete, which is a life of, you know, insecurities, hell, injuries, and like hustling for a contract. And
You'd put them off.
well, no, I would just speak honestly to them and say, is this really what you want to do?
Yeah.
It must be unbelievably stressful as well. You
Well,
know,
for me or for them?
for a youngish person to
Yeah. Like I say, we were
take all that
surfing wedge
pressure.
and stuff at that time. And they're like going into these big games, people telling them they have to perform. There's
Yeah,
scouts
yeah.
here, or there's people watching it, or it's on TV or something,
Yeah.
or it's being filmed. Yeah, it's just serious, you know.
Yeah.
And and what you get at the end of it.
So in your training, do you go into that a little bit as well? Do you go
Yeah,
into
if I
the
get
mental-
one-to-one time with these people, yeah, of course you do. If you spend an hour with someone.
Yeah,
When I look back at, I was training more people every week at the sports centre than the next 5 trainers were combined every week, every month for 10 years. So you don't, well, I do realise how much experience you have just with a human being in front of you, how scared they are of things, what they want to achieve, what they not bothered about, their problems at home. You can throw a tennis ball to a guy in the street and he's had serious trouble.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Because
We heard that sentence, it's like, I don't want to butcher it, it was, you could go into like a massive room with 500 people, everyone shared their problems, you'd be happy to go home with your own. After that, you go, fucking hell.
yeah, everyone's got shit going on.
Yeah, probably way worse than you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you spend hours and hours with people, just you and them. Man, you don't do that very often. Just someone. And after 5 years or 3 years or something, you know that person pretty well, and they know you as well. And you'd be a fool not to recognise patterns and behaviour and things, But now I don't get to see people as much, but my market is broadened out to the globe, I guess. Like I said, I have clients in Europe and things,
Yeah.
Good.
which I never would have had before.
It's the power of social media, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, social media is incredible for that. It's an incredible tool, and it's free.
It's free.
Yeah, I know they're using me for advertising and stuff, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because you're getting huge benefit from it as
Yeah.
well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, technology has changed your business, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
dramatically.
Yeah, it's everything. And COVID really moved the needle as far as online training is concerned. It became the norm.
Yeah.
Because before that, everyone's like, I'd rather see someone in person. But now people are like, not bothered. It's just what you do now. So, my clients will download my app unless I've got your phone, which didn't seem to work. Download my app and they
I'll
know
show you
exactly
after.
what to do. Because if someone wants to lose weight, right, bloody John Smith,
Yeah.
I want to lose some weight. His gym structure is binary, right? Did you turn up or did you not? You need to turn up more times than you didn't. Easy. When you're there, move as much as you can and then leave. If you compete at an elite level, you need to know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Every session and why, when to recover, when to come back, when to push hard again, when to come back again. So these boys who compete at a high level, they're really easy to train because they're like, what do I do today? What exactly do I do tomorrow? What exactly do I do on Wednesday? On Thursday, it says I have a day off. Okay, I'll do that. Like, they know. They know what to do. And they're like, and I've got credibility because of the people I've trained before. So they're like, okay, well, obviously this guy knows what he's talking about, so we'll just get him to plan it. And it's easy. Everyone wins. And they pay me a monthly subscription, which is cheaper than seeing me once a week. They don't cancel and say, oh, my fucking wisdom teeth are out and I can't make it. Like people do.
I was going to ask you that. You don't get that anymore, do you?
God, the last 3 or 4 years before COVID, my cancellation rate was like 50% over the month.
Wow. That was
kids
in
are ill,
person, was it?
Because it's just getting so hard to get people to turn up at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or 10 o'clock, or whatever time it was. People, something's coming up at work. The kids are ill, wisdom teeth, whatever it might be. People are getting so busy.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, oh, I didn't train this week. Yeah, okay. Your subscription, bing, goes through at the end of the month. Everyone wins. So it's cheaper for them. My subscription's more stable. My income is more stable. And so everyone wins.
Do you only train sort of like athletes now,
Yeah.
or people who want to be athletes?
Pretty much, yeah.
So long gone are the days of training people to lose weight, or
Yeah, John Smith's gone.
Yeah.
So I turn away more people than I take on now.
So how did it jump from the John Smiths to the athletes?
Very slowly over sort of 8 years, you start to transition into.
So who was the first one? Who was the first one when you thought, oh, this guy's actually an elite athlete? Did you poach them, or did they come to you, or what happened?
Well, if they're an athlete, they're never like a 15-year-old kid isn't going to be in the gym unless they've got promise. A lot of them aren't in there to lose weight or anything like that.
No.
So usually the parents know. My boy Mason, who I trained with a few years back, sometimes you get a genetic freak like him come in the gym, benched 100 kilos in his first ever gym session.
Is that me?
Age 14. Just turned 14.
What?
You know how heavy 100 kilos is?
I can't do that. I can't do that now. No way.
Yeah, I've got it on my Instagram. I've got a backward tap standing behind the rack, and he did like 80, 90. Let's try 100. And it's ugly, but it went.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was on text his mum later on. Like, got something special here. Yeah, he's in Hartbury College now. I think he's come back from the rugby. He was pushing like hell. He's not that bothered anymore. He just wants to hang around with his mates and chase girls and stuff.
That's Gloucester's college, isn't it?
Yeah,
Hartbury.
they feed. Yeah, Hartbury. Yeah.
See, that's a really tough time as well, from the ages of 15 to 19, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
That's your
Tough time
peak
anyway.
time, isn't it, of
Yeah.
girls going out, partying.
Yeah, that's what people like Josh Hathaway might miss. When's he going to go to Australia for a year? He hasn't got the time. You take a year out now, you're not coming back. Whereas everyone did that.
sacrifices, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite big sacrifices, but then if they make it, so to speak,
Yeah.
it's totally worth it. And it's probably what they love to do as well. So
Yeah.
it's probably worth that.
That's the
sacrifice.
key.
Yeah, they're
innit?
enjoying it. They feel like they're on some type of path. And like I said, they'll know by the age of 20 or 21. Go bricklaying for your dad after that. Isn't it? Whatever it is.
happens, isn't it?
Yeah. But the problem is, a lot of these players who get really far and don't make it because they've dreamt of playing for Wales or whatever it is, they don't want to play for Town after that.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, I don't want to go play for Town. It's a bit
benchmark,
deflating.
isn't it?
Whereas Abertown could do with those players.
Yeah. They set the bar so high, though.
Yeah, because it used to be like, oh, you play for Town, you're like a bit of a celebrity. You know, people
Yeah.
see you on a Saturday and you score the win, try it in the camera news or whatever.
So while we're on this wonderful subject of sport and training and stuff, tell us, if you're able to, about your most recent news about this Team GP.
Oh, yeah. I've had a lot of people ask me about the Olympics.
it's a
They say,
big-
you in the Olympics? And no, it's not.
I thought that the first time. I was like,
when you
Rich,
see
you're going to the
Team
Olympics!
GB, yeah, I declared I was in the asked to be the performance coach for a GB motocross enduro. Do you know what motocross enduro is?
I think so.
So moto is where they do like races on a dirt circuit in a crowd. There's 12 or 20 of them or whatever racing,
Yes.
and they go around.
Doing skids all the way around. Is it that long?
No, that's speedway. I think.
Oh,
this is
okay.
just like they're racing around a track, but there's loads of them. They start from the gate, bang, they'll go out together. But moto enduro is they race a stage on their own, a time trial, like through the forestry, natural stuff, difficult stuff. So it's like a rally, and then they ride to the next stage. Then they race that next stage, and they ride to the next stage and race that. So it's a whole day. It's really physical. There's times when they can go back to the service, try and fix their bikes. So it's called enduro because it's damn physical, and it's an endurance event for the bike too. Your bike has to last. So anyway, they do that for a day or two, and you know the person with the shortest time in the end wins.
Wow.
But they compete for their teams like Honda, Kawasaki, the factory teams. But every year there's an international 6-day enduro, which is what I'm going to, where they compete for Great Britain against France, USA, whatever. And that's a 6-day enduro, not a 1 or 2 day. So it's like really physical. It's in northern Spain this year. It was in Argentina last year, which was like hard, you know, like desert. So they take a performance coach with them to manage the athletes.
Ooh,
So
that's gonna be
I
a tough
boil it
one.
down to basically it's whatever team can stay on top of their hydration the easiest will win.
Oh, nutrition's got to be high up there.
Hydration more
Yeah.
so, yeah, and then nutrition below that.
Okay.
Wow.
'Cause if you're, you know, I don't, you've probably heard that sentence. If you're 2% dehydrated, then your performance drops significantly. You know, 20% or more. When they say 2%, they're referring to your 2% of your body weight lost through dehydration, which isn't a huge amount, but it is in some ways. You know, if you're 100 kilos, you lost 2% of water. That's 2 liters of water that's gone out of your body. So you would expect it to cost you. So after days 3, you know, the days 4, 5, and 6 at the end, whoever can stay there on top of their performance is probably going to win that. So they take a performance coach away with them, and that's what I'm going to be doing.
Cool.
So I'm buried in hydration stuff at the moment, trying to get
You're carrying water everywhere you go.
hosing them down.
So a lot of electrolytes and stuff, I imagine.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if you had a whiteboard here now and you listed the factors behind hydration and dehydration on an event, right? There's loads of stuff. It'd be how hot is it, of course. How humid is it? Is it windy? If it's windy, it'll take the fluid off your skin quicker. Are you a high salt sweater or a low salt sweater? You know, sometimes you go running and your eyebrows are real salty.
Yeah.
Like, so you might be a high salt sweater. Some people don't have that. So people sweat at different rates. You know, how much fluid they've had, of course, how much they've eaten. A lot of people on race day. I know I'd be a terrible racer. I wouldn't be able to eat on a race day because of the nerves and the
Nerves,
adrenaline. Yeah.
Me too.
But over 6 days, you can't get away with that. If you're on a single day event, you could run off resources you might need tomorrow, today, but you can't do that on a 6-day thing. So if you've got all those factors, it's too broad, it's too loose to get everyone exactly right. So what you need to do is come up with a framework, like a scaffolding that runs through it all that you can try and stick to. So there's something. Have you heard of Dr. Andy Galpin? He's an American sports scientist.
Don't think I do.
He's
No.
usually, I love his podcast and stuff. He's a really knowledgeable guy. So he's come up with something called the Galpin equation. So it's all pounds and ounces, but if you transfer it to metrics for the UK market, it's 2 millilitres of fluid for every kilogram that you weigh every 15 minutes during exercise, which is quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
How much do you weigh, Med? You're the biggest guy.
98 kilograms.
Okay, let's call it 100, freezing maths. So that'd be
200 mil
every 15
every
minutes.
50 minutes. So
Every 15 minutes.
that's like 4 good
A
gloves.
litre every hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Wow.
is, you know,
It's doable.
That's about right. If
Yeah,
you were playing
yeah.
basketball or something, you go through that.
Yeah, doable, yeah. But you
Now-
have to do it.
yeah, you have to do it. That's the problem, right? So I can have all the information in the world. I can teach these guys what to do. Then you've got to get someone to do it.
Yeah, because if they're balls deep into a race, they're going to forget.
Yeah.
Because if they're like they've got that carrot in front of them, they're trying to catch that person.
Right. So hold that thought. So what you could do is like with this framework, I've actually got a meeting with a hydration expert in a couple of weeks in Scotland. I'm driving up, so I might change what I'm saying here. But if you had someone, Med, if you were in this enduro and you had a 2-litre Camelback on your back, I would know that after about an hour and a half, that should be nearly gone.
Should be.
Yeah. So if you saw that person after 2 hours and they still had it nearly full, you'd be like, hang on a second, you're going to suffer later on. You can't get away with this. So that's all you really need is to say like you're doing it right or you're not. You don't have to get it right and you can't get it right.
Well, you're taking away their thought.
You just want them to have their already burdened mind, just something less to think about.
Yeah, you need them to concentrate on the race and drinking, and then not worry about how much is left or what.
Right. So like you said,
you hit them with the refill.
So you're not doing well. You should have gone through this and you've got nearly full. Yeah. But you can't get them to glug it. That's not going to work.
No.
You just say, come on, start thinking about that.
Too late.
So like you just said, you've got to make it convenient for them, right? So how do you do that? You have it, on the Camelback, the straw close to your mouth, for example, easier, so it's right there. You don't have to get something out of your bag. And the most simple thing is if it tastes good, right?
Yes.
If it's got something in it that tastes good, you're more likely, the studies show that the data on that is real clear. It's like an 80% better rate of drinking when something tastes good.
WKD Blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Smirnoff Ice.
Sure, yeah, Smirnoff Ice or Bacardi Breeze and watermelon.
Reef.
Oh,
just fill it with loads of those.
Reef had the actual bits in it, didn't it? You just shake it.
It's absolutely disgusting, that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
just fill it with loads of those freeze pops that you just melted. Put those. That's really good.
Red freeze pops are
flavour.
lovely.
Yeah, so if it is GB team, and I get to have a GB tracksuit going through the airport, which is a sick thing.
That's so cool.
Sign autographs.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
And there's like an opening ceremony there and stuff, and it's a big deal once every year. So I think with me, they'll have a good chance of winning it. And I'm really excited to go and show how good a coach I am.
Definitely.
Cool, right? And I think I can educate these guys and buy them in on it.
Brilliant.
How did it happen? That was the question I was going to ask. Like, how did you become the GB coach for this motor enduro?
Well, I was, on my Instagram, I talk a load of shit, and I did some. I did a story saying I've got loads of mates who ride motocross, and they were always trying to say to me, like, "Oh, hey, I'll bring you a bike. You can have a go." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to go on your motorbike. I don't want a shattered pelvis every summer for the rest of my life." Do you know what I mean? Because they have big injuries, those guys.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And I'm happy just not to do it.
Yeah.
I don't need something. I don't need another hobby. I'd be on eBay that night looking for them. I'd be so made up with it.
Rabbit hole.
So I did that on Instagram story, and this guy replied, Jamie Lewis, his name is, going, "Oh, this seems like a decent enough story to reply to. I've been following you for a couple of years. What do you think about this opportunity?" I was like, "Yeah, let's talk it through." So I went down to Bike Park, Wales, and he came from somewhere, and that was like neutral ground. We just had a chat in the cafe there, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it's just, you never know who's following you,
No.
The power of social media.
And he's been following me for a couple of years, I could have upset him loads
Numerous
of times.
occasions.
Yeah, but I hadn't.
No.
Yeah, and you don't know,
Do you upset a lot of people on there?
No.
You don't get any haters.
Oh, I get death threats, but I think
Nothing major.
Trolls. You must
yeah,
get
I
a
do
few.
get trolled, yeah. It's usually like the insignificant things, like if I take the piss out of Android phones or something.
What's wrong with Android phones?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean?
I can't get his app.
Of course you can't.
What did I say? I put a post up, saying, can we all just have iPhones from now on? Because when people are mountain biking, they film each other.
Yeah.
You say, "Oh, can you send me that video?" You go, "Oh, I've got an Android." "Oh, for fuck's sake. Like, so how am I going to get that footage off your phone to my Apple phone now?"
Bluetooth.
Yeah, go down Jessup's and print it off. And that's the best way to do it. Man, did I ever. Like, that post went mad. Death threats. Yeah, you fucking sheep, you Apple fuckers.
Honestly.
Yeah.
People get passionate about it. Do you ever say stuff on Instagram and social media in general on purpose to get a reaction?
That is a really good question.
I guess I was trying to get a reaction from the people with Apple phones, because they probably know people with Androids, and they'll send it to them and go, "Ha!"
Yeah.
So yeah, it's attention, isn't it? You want a bit of attention. You don't want to stick your foot in it. Because if you say something really bad, then like Darren at the sports centre would have to say, "Look, mate, you can't work at the uni anymore."
Well, exactly.
There's repercussions.
Comms.
Yeah. So you want to dice with death, but just in a fun way.
Yeah.
And but there's a term for it. It's called tribe grinding, and I didn't know about it. Surface v bodyboarders,
Oh, okay.
Android versus Apple.
Fine,
So if
got
you
you.
take your stance and it upsets the other side, and they're like, "Yeah, let's get them,"
Okay.
I didn't realize it's a thing.
Tribe grinding.
Yeah, if you're tribe grinding.
I've never heard of that. But then you can compare it to loads of things, isn't it? Like left wing, right wing, Apple, Android.
Oh, mate, you can get tighter than that. You can get loads tighter than that. I don't know why humans are so eager to argue with each other. So you get two people who love squatting in the gym. You can have a low bar squat or a high bar squat. The bar's that far. Man, those guys go hard on Instagram at each other.
What?
Yeah, you high bar
love to know
motherfuckers.
that.
You don't know what you're
Honestly.
talking about. Low bar's better. Low bar's this. High bar's that. Bang. They're both really good squatters. They both love the gym. They've got so much in common. They're like
They hate each other.
hurling rocks, yeah.
It's a bit like
So I don't
scooters
know-
and skateboarders.
Yeah, but it's weird though, because if I was in a gym and I was squatting with a low bar, and I do, and I saw someone squatting with a high bar, we'd just be chatting. But online, it's like, boom, you're dead meat, What is it? That
Do you
it
ever
takes-
respond to people giving you
No,
grief on there?
no.
You never get roped in.
No,
You get
or
tempted,
sometimes maybe, do I?
It's a dangerous
If they've
place,
just
though, isn't
given
it?
you some gold, they've really dug themselves a hole and you've got to gun them down.
They're
But
in a corner.
generally, no, you just let them go.
Have you
seen
blocked
that?
anybody?
Oh yeah, I blocked plenty of people, but not really. I'm not for about a year, I haven't, no.
What if they just say something really fucked up?
Yeah, I can't. Why? I have blocked a couple of people. There is a list you can see you've blocked. Mine's on about 40 or something. It's not super high.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
No,
No.
I'm not some like controversial character. Or
Oh,
anything.
no.
I'll just talk about stuff. Yeah.
Something you
seen
see.
Have you seen that bodybuilder who goes, "Let's see the comments"? Have you seen
Oh,
that guy?
Paddy O'Dwyer.
He is
yeah, I love
brilliant.
that guy. Yeah.
He's like, he calls out all the trolls and like, and he goes,
No, so someone will post a video of like someone. I don't know,
Achieving
someone who's
something.
just started in the gym benching like 80 kilos or something. And then the comments might be like, "Oh, my mum can bench 80 kilos," right? So he'll look at that video and be like, "Oh, that guy's just started in the gym." He'll look at the comments, look at these guys hating on him in the comments, and then look at their Instagrams and call them out and like, look at their pictures up and just take a
full-time
piss
job.
at them. Yeah.
That's a
So he's
full-time
like,
job.
he's the troll troller.
Okay.
"It's beautiful."
But it's really funny, yeah. It is really funny. And I think it makes people second guess, oh, maybe I shouldn't put something on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a question here. If you could train any athlete in the world, who would it be? Who's your dream client?
Oh.
If you could fight anyone, who would you fight?
What, like past or present or what?
You can do past or present.
Dead
I thought
alive.
about that because I thought maybe you'd go, well, I don't know, anybody. Who would you love to train?
Well, I love Conor McGregor. I love those outliers of the mental game.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael Jordan. Have you seen
Yeah.
that documentary?
Yeah.
So good.
Flashdance or whatever it's called.
Yeah, thriller.
What's it called?
The Last Dance.
The last dance.
The last dance, I think
Yeah.
it is.
I think that's literally what spurred us on to go and play basketball again, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I do train with people. Yeah, it did, yeah. COVID. So I do train with people that have that similar mindset. And these world champions are different people. And other people try and strive to be like, oh, what are they doing that I can do? Whereas in fact, these people who are like legends in their sport, they're broken in respect because they don't stop. Nothing
No.
stops them. They'll never stop. They're like Terminators.
They need
So
to
it's
be
not like,
protected
oh,
from
they got
themselves.
skill and they got money and they got talent and they got drive. They're different. They're different again. They will not stop until they've reached the top or died, So it's not something that they have. It's something they don't have, which is that cut-off switch that most people have.
It's almost like narcissism,
Yeah.
isn't it?
The
You're
highest
just
level.
It's
hell
like,
bent.
bump.
Probably like Napoleon was or something,
Yeah.
Like, I'm having every country within...
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like at war for 10 or 20 years, wasn't it? Straight, just constantly and stuff, that.
And he won all but one, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's people like that out there, and you can't really compete with them.
You can't. It's like I was talking to you about this yesterday, but like when you see in the Olympics now when people are winning golds and they go and hug their coach, it's really emotional. I had tears in my eyes last night. How many hours on the mats, hours on the track,
Yeah.
wherever it is.
Yeah, whatever they're
whatever
doing.
it is.
So much time and effort.
Yeah.
It's
Some
like
of the coaches get awarded
amazing.
gold medals too now, don't they, I think?
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
being
the lady-
recognised.
So good to watch.
I watched the lady cycling yesterday, and it was just so emotional. I was crying like when she got gold. She went straight over to the coaches, and her dad was there. So I was like,
Oh,
Yeah, a really tight entourage of people that have got you
it's
there.
amazing.
Yeah.
You're just the crack of the whip at the end. Everyone's work has come forth for you to do that.
How does it feel for you when you see one of your athletes succeed or
brilliant,
win
yeah.
or anything? Do you really like go through it with them and you get,
Oh, yeah. But the worst thing is when they crash or wipe out something, you know how much it means to them. You know how devastated they are. But if I'm watching like Millie or something, Norwegian girl I trained downhill mountain biking. On her run, I can't fucking watch.
Why? Just
I feel my heart rate's up. Adrenaline
In case
off.
she snacks.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god, you know, they have a little sip. Oh, fuck.
I'm really feeling that actually. Yeah.
Oh. I don't want to hear the commentary. Nothing. You know. So I can't imagine what they're going through, especially for the women. You know, because your body thinks in a competition environment like that, you're going into war for your life. You know, your mind might know it's a mountain biking event, but your body doesn't know what's going on. There's all these chemicals flooding through you, especially as females with no testosterone. The men might be able to kind of go like, let's have it, you know?
Yeah.
God, but
She's hard as nails, she is.
Millie.
Because she's had some get downs, hasn't she?
She gets up every time.
Millie, what was it?
John Sett, Norwegian downhill mountain biker.
She's called the Hammer. Did she call the Hammer?
I just called her the
What do you
Norwegian
call
Hammer and take off. It backfired.
Really upset those people. Got loads of trolls.
No. God, yeah, you've got to know how much it means to these people, though, when something doesn't go right, and you know that they have to put a good year in, because they're on the second year of a 2-year contract or something, you know, and you're like, they need some results this year to get leverage for next year or whatever it is. And then sometimes, you know, boy, I trained Dom Platt in the first race of the season, he wiped out in practice, you know, big crash. And you're like,
That's
you're
it.
just like, oh. And they've trained for like 25 weeks non-stop all winter, you know, and then the first one you slip up. It's so cutthroat.
No, I bet it is.
The chances, you know, if you get into the top.
I was just thinking about Josh Tarlin when you were talking about that then, because he unfortunately had a puncture on the weekend.
Should have had the gold, shouldn't he?
100% on the podium.
Yeah.
You know, and he was at, what was he? He lost like 12, 15 seconds on that. And he was still fourth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like there's those moments, isn't it? Such a fine
There's
line.
so many things you can't control.
Yeah.
Which is where I come in, right? Because your physical condition is about the only thing you can control.
Yeah.
Because I'll go back to downhill mountain biking. I know a lot of your viewers probably don't know much about downhill mountain biking, so we won't go on about it a lot. But in the final, there's 30 riders. The guy who qualified fastest goes last.
Oh, okay.
So when you're watching the TV show, the riders should be getting quicker and quicker and quicker. But sometimes, like 10 guys go down, then the rain, bang, and you're like, now the fastest 20 people are in torrential rain. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh well, you know,
it's up in the air now.
See you
What can
next
do?
week. Yeah. And you can't compete with that. You can't compete with the weather or how hard someone else is training, or if someone's dislodged a rock on their run and now it's right on your line, bang, puncture. There's just so much stuff you can't control.
So pure though, isn't it?
Yeah.
A big set could come in, and then no waves can come in for like a minute straight, and then they're just sitting there going, well, I can't score any more points.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
there's no waves.
Or a
Too
shark.
many uncontrollables, shark. Yeah.
McFang had it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or smoothie for
Punched
Mick.
it.
Sharks, you know, it's part of your life, isn't it? If you live in the sea, even if you're anywhere in the sea, it's always in your mind, isn't it? Sometimes
Well,
you get spooked.
We were living in Kira for 3 months.
that
and
was
then,
spooky, that was.
but we were swimming in that particular spot
Froggies.
literally every morning. No, just outside where we were
Oh,
living.
yeah.
And then, like, the next morning, the helicopter was, like, right down at that spot, trying to get rid of whatever.
Yeah, it was like
there.
right down 5 feet above the water, trying to scare off something worth scaring.
Yeah.
There's a guy on Instagram called Scott Fairchild or something. He's a drone photographer.
Yes.
Mate, with the advancements of drones now, there's sharks everywhere.
Yep.
They're like here.
Yep. They don't even
So
know
guy
the
be
surface.
no, they know the surfer's there. The surfer doesn't know they're there, and the shark isn't bothered. The more you learn about sharks, the less afraid you are of them. Because you see in this drone footage, like guy looking for some surf, like a great white pretty much goes under his board, you know, and you're like great white obviously knew he was there, just wasn't interested.
Not interested.
And there's so much of this footage now with drones. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at the times we were surfing in Australia. Sometimes you're like, oh, I feel a bit spooky. There's something, sure, there's something in the water with me here. It's
Yeah.
like kicking.
You just get that feeling, don't you?
Yeah, you feel like you're being watched.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever tried to film someone secretly on your phone? Do you ever do that?
Never
No,
works.
just in toilets.
If there's a camera looking straight at you,
That was
you
a
know.
joke. That
If
was
there's
a
a
joke.
camera looking straight at you, directly at you, you know, you feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like that. You've got
Little
some
tingle.
inbuilt genetic thing, like something's watching
It's
you.
your sixth sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spidey.
We were body surfing in froggies every day, weren't we?
Yeah.
Remember that time all those fish came through?
Yes.
Like the whole water went black with fish.
Yes.
Decent fish bumping into us. Well, we're like spinning around. This is mad. And then on the news that night then, there's like showing all these massive schools of fish, sharks just following them all day up and down the coast. Where we were Gold Coast News. The Gold Coast is only like 12 miles long. Yeah. It's not like it's
Who's on the news, isn't it?
We're like, we're spinning around in all these mackerel and
Because
everything.
you've never seen it before.
No.
It's like from ABBA.
Really excited.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's definitely something
Oh.
mean chasing it.
Massive bull sharks.
It's the high right. It's the food chain, isn't it?
Yeah.
be.
And in the water, we're the bottom of the food chain. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
problem. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
On it, you know, if a shark came for me, I'm sure I would have some type of fight in me. Because they're cowards, aren't they? Animals. They sneak up and bite you. They don't come at you, do they? If you can see a shark, apparently it's not coming for you.
Well,
if you can
they're
track
neither.
it.
I don't think they're neither brave or scared. I think they, especially a great white shark, I think they just literally have instinct. That's it. They go, I want to eat that. I'm gonna have it.
Yeah, but if you attack it back,
Oh yeah,
you've got
there's
a chance,
there's a
haven't you?
reflex.
Yeah.
They go, okay.
Punch on the nose, poke
Is
in
it
the
worth
eye.
it? Is it
Yeah.
worth it?
Shark spray.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shark spray. Yeah, exploding shark spray.
Judo chop to the gill, apparently.
Yeah. Something. You'd have some fight in you, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just be trying to get to the beach. You'd turn at the thing or whatever.
No, but I gotta admit, that's a bit of a fear of mine. Like actually being bitten by something like a
Violent
great
way
white.
to go.
Like,
It's a really violent way to go. Be completely painless, though.
I don't think it would be. I reckon it'd be really
I
painful and
dunno.
scary.
Everyone who's been attacked by a shark says it's painless. You watch them.
They're like razor blades.
I'd just go straight through.
I think,
Severs everything.
yeah,
It's
but
the
I
scream,
think you
though.
just look down and you'd be so flooded with adrenaline, you'd just be fighting for your life, and you wouldn't. I don't think you'd feel a thing.
It'd be a pretty horrible way to go, I
terrifying,
think.
isn't it?
but-
Nerves would be gone.
Yeah.
There were some Aussie kids at the bike park on the weekend. I was talking to their mum all day, and I said, "Do you have any trouble with sharks down here, just below Sydney?" She goes, "No, but there was someone attacked last year. You know, some guy got attacked. He got to the beach, his leg was gone. They airlifted him to hospital. About an hour later, his leg washed up,
Heard about this?
and they airlifted that to hospital. And I think they're trying to reattach it.
Trying to get it back on.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Did it
It is
work?
I don't know.
I don't
Did
know.
they manage to get it
I just
on?
saw the headline and then they were trying to get it back on, but I don't know
If
if
my
it
leg
succeeded
came
or
back
not.
on and it worked, I'd be hell bent on revenge. I'd get that shark so bad. I'd be trolling. You should have killed me when you had the chance. You know, when I come up on him. Yeah.
Take his fin off.
I'd go for him. Because a load of people are like, oh, I don't blame the shark. You know, it's doing it. I'd be after it. I'd be, gunning.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Survived that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
It's all right. So we just touched on fear. So what scares you
What
in
about
this world?
sharks?
In this world,
Oh, right. Yeah, sharks.
Yeah, that'll do. Bang.
I don't know. We're all halfway through our lives, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say my dad died a couple of weeks ago, and I'm always inspired by death. It's not my first thought, but I'm inspired by death all the time. I think about it a lot. You know, you lost your dad, 10 years ago? More?
He was 57. So if I think now that I'm coming up to 42, it's not really that far away if you think about it in
Yeah.
those terms, if you know what I mean. Like, you know.
And he's a bloody lovely bloke, your dad, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, one of my
Amazing
memories
guy.
of him was like, we went to, I think it's 2001, you, me and Gaz went to France. He drove us to Stansted Airport and back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the way down, we stopped at a little chef. And he goes, have whatever you want, boys. It's on me. I don't know why I got that memory in my mind.
I don't know. I think
He
they
said
did an
that.
This is
Olympic
incredible.
breakfast, and we all had an Olympic breakfast.
Little
from
Chef.
Little Chef.
Yeah, back then, it was 18 quid each.
Yeah. One egg,
2001.
one sausage.
Yeah.
And
Hash
those
brown.
like potatoes,
Yeah.
those
Dish
like
of beans.
thinly sliced fried potatoes,
Yeah.
eggs,
Little Thief
sausages.
used to call that place. It was so expensive.
Little
Yeah.
thief, yeah.
Oh, it was. But yeah, some good memories. But yeah, and I remember that it took us all the way to Stan's. But he was good like that.
And
He
evolve.
was he would do
He was just brilliant, wasn't he?
he would just
Yeah.
go above and beyond. Like he
Yeah,
was
man.
selfless. That's probably the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's gone, you know, and he's not coming back.
No.
And we're all going to die one day, and I'm always aware of that. And I'm not always like appreciating every moment, but I try. I do check myself from time to time and be like, oh, this is a good day.
You get
Yeah, yeah.
one way round, don't you?
Yeah,
One go.
Yeah, we haven't existed for like 6 billion years. We're not going to exist for the next 6 billion years. It's like an 80-year flash in the middle. You get a chance to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
We're halfway through that.
Yeah.
And we'll never exist again. But like, you know, my memories of your dad is sitting in a conservatory. He'll never sit in that conservatory again, have the sun on his face, reading a newspaper. He fucking loved that, didn't he?
Sometimes it's the small things, isn't it? Like you have a coffee.
That's what I think about your dad. What you must think, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's deep, isn't
That's
it?
what I
But
associate your dad with, sitting in a conservatory, just at peace, you know, just like,
the birds.
watching golf.
Yeah.
yeah, watching a bit of
having a
golf.
coffee.
I remember him coming in from a run and putting his head in the fridge.
Yeah.
That's one of my
that
big
quite
memories of your dad.
often. In his
Just because
high
he was so hot.
Yeah.
Put his head in the fridge.
Yeah.
high-tech
Great idea.
shadows.
His dad probably did it in his...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, you know, how much would you love for your phone to ring now and it's dad? Oh, hey, mate, where are you up to? Oh, I'm just down the prom. All right. Oh, I'm in a podcast. I'll see you tomorrow. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Those... And death inspires me because we're not dead.
Yeah.
You know, we have tomorrow. We have opportunities. We're here. We've got, like, a future. You know, we got kids. You haven't yet, but you might have. Will you?
Hopefully one day.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
Dude, we're not going to be around forever.
Occasionally I do text it. So say like on Father's Day maybe, I'll text Med and Dave because we've got a WhatsApp group, and I'll just say, just go and see him. Go and see him
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, you
Have
do.
a coffee with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Always
I'll
do. I
always
get-
do that.
I get
you
my
know?
dad a different bottle of whiskey, so I'm trying not to double up on whiskey like ever. So I try and search that. It's getting real slim now because he's 60. He's coming up to 70. So.
Yeah, we're at that age and we've
No
got to
way.
start thinking about, our parents are kind of settling down, towards the
I
end.
know.
I know it sounds morbid, but yeah, I try and see my mum every day. Or if I
Yeah.
don't see her, I'll give her a call. Or go around the house. Sometimes just drive over there, just sit with her. Just have that. Because that'll be taken away from me one time. I won't be able to give Aurel a call and see what she's up to.
No, but this is a good segue into fatherhood, I think, a little bit. We're talking about my
Yeah.
dad and things like that. So what were your expectations going in of having a kid? And then what, if anything, changed after you had Solly?
Well, I always knew I wanted a family. If I could have chosen, I would have had kids at 18.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
you were
we all
the
have, we all
first
do.
of the group who kind of were always like, oh no, I want a kid and I want a kid now.
Because if I had a child at 18, I'd have a 23-year-old son now.
Yeah.
And now I'm still young. I've got more money than I've ever had. And now I'd be seriously free because he'd be gone. He'd be doing whatever he's doing. But, now my 40s are going to be tied up with Solly. Not tied up, that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. And it's a hell of an effort. But it's all worth it. It's not like, when they say, oh, it's the greatest day of your life when your son is born or whatever. It wasn't. It was a heat wave. Like 38 degrees Celsius. Rowan had a hot tub in my front room because she wanted to give birth in one of these birthing tubs.
Yes.
And I was like, I was trying to convince her not to do it. Don't do a home birth. This is serious, If something goes wrong,
Yeah.
you're 20 minutes from the hospital. But the midwives were really good. They were like, oh no, we've got this check sheet. We do these checks every 15 minutes. And you score it then green, red or amber. If there's 2 ambers, hospital. So Rowan's trying to push a baby out. It's like 7 o'clock at night in 38 degrees Celsius in a 40 degrees Celsius hot tub in my front room, splashing all over the oak floor. Right?
Go on with a flannel.
Yeah, there's 2 vegan midwives here and I got nothing to feed them.
Steak.
Yeah, you can't have my avocados.
Yeah, they told us beforehand, like, make sure there's some snacks for us and stuff, But I didn't know when Rowan was going to... Anyway. Yeah, so he went out and mowed the lawn, give him the basket. So it was like quite a stressful day. It wasn't the best time. Rowan gave birth about 9 o'clock at night. They sent me home then because it was in COVID. I wasn't allowed to stay.
Sorry, still laughing at the grass thing. Sorry.
I went home. I got home about 11 o'clock at night. Oh my God, that was a long day. Went into my front room, water everywhere. The next day I went back to get Rowan. And then they send you out with this baby, and you just try and keep it alive. Of course, the sleep deprivation. Like I've always had pretty bad insomnia because my brain is pretty quick. So if I wake up to go for a piss in the night, I try and keep my eyes half lidded and try and stay sleepy manually. Because if I start thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, then my brain's gone and then I'm just not coming back. So over the last 20 years, I've been awake between 1 and 4 a.m. a lot of the time. It's quite a lonely time of night. There's nothing.
Oh, I had a big stint of that. I had about 2 or 3 years of that. It is a lonely place.
Yeah, nothing going on. And we're in a single bedroom house with Solly as well. So I couldn't even go downstairs on my laptop, make up tea or something, because he's there. He's front room, his crib, kitchen. Then we're upstairs. There's no walls even between us. So the slightest he'd make wakes you up.
Yeah.
So that was just awful. And your parents say flippant things like, "Oh, we'll just sleep when the baby sleeps. It's easy." I got to go to work. I got to work at 7 a.m. Got a client. It's 6 a.m. He's been screaming all night, and I slept 1 second. And now I've got to go and do clients all day. I got a client in the sports centre, and then one in Aberystwyth, and then 2 in Newtown that evening. And I'm out all day.
So that's what you want to do as well, isn't it? You just want to sleep.
Just hanging. I've never been hanging on, circling the drain. That's the only way. And I know about heart rates and stuff, right? I always wear this thing. My average heart rate is usually about 50. For about 8 months, my average heart rate was 92. Seriously high. Couldn't do one workout. I'd have had a heart attack. Do you know what I mean? I know I was having this vibration within my ribs. My organs were trembling. I don't know where it just come and go. I don't know what the hell it was. Like a vibration in my hand. Rowan used to pick it up, so you were shaking. I was losing sight in my left eye, slurring words, like really bad. An hour and a half sleep, most nights for about 8 or 10 months probably, and it was just rough.
No, the sleep deprivation is certainly the hardest element that I've found about it. And me and Dave have had loads of conversations about it. And then I was speaking to Dave recently about it. And don't get me wrong, it gets way, way, way easier. But really, I haven't slept as much as I want to sleep in 7 years because Cora's 7.
Yeah,
And it doesn't stop because Isla's 4 years old. And obviously, every now and again, they get a cold or they're a little bit ill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's never they don't sleep like robots, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So really, I haven't slept as much as I want to for 7 years.
No.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, you just
Yeah, and I know
a long
Dave's.
time.
I know Dave's the same because
I've got this
you're-
twitch in my eye. I can't like, it's like
yeah. Solly came in at 4:30 this morning. Like, oh,
Yeah.
milk, whatever. And you're like, oh, yeah, because he can get out of his bed now and come and get us.
Yeah,
And then once I'm kind of up and I see the sun's half up, and I'm up now.
yeah.
Just unreal. But he's such a good little boy.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
come. It's a weird one, isn't it? You're in like a bit of a dark place with the sleep deprivation, and then now, like the
Thank
light
God.
at the end of the
Thank
tunnel,
God, yeah.
and then like, you get such joy.
And
you know?
everything's working out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, I think maybe a really important thing for some people is like it's temporary.
Yeah.
I think that would be
Oh,
like a
it's-
really good message to somebody who was going through it right now. Say their kid's like 3 months old and they're like, oh my God, it's temporary.
Oh, it's temporary.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just
they
different
do sleep
stages.
at-
Yeah.
you know.
Stage after stage, isn't it?
Every
Yeah.
person
Does
said that
get
to me. They go, it gets better, mate.
And it
I
does,
used
though.
to just hang on to that sentence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have, we won't have another one. Me and Rowan, we said like, oh, we only planned one anyway.
Yeah.
People like, fucking no, not doing that again.
I think it depends what kind of lifestyle you've got as well.
Yeah.
And I think if you kind of accept that your life is not going to be the same again, is a completely wrong phrase, but it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
As soon as you accept that,
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think you're right about the acceptance.
Acceptance,
thing.
yeah.
Accept
Some
it.
people are just constantly resentful of this.
Exactly.
Kids have taken away
Yeah.
stuff they want to do. And
That is one of my biggest fears.
yeah.
Why I haven't even bothered to have a child at
Yeah.
all with
What?
anybody
Your freedom.
is I'm terrified and selfish in a way. I don't want to give that up
Yeah.
to an extent where it's going to just stop me getting up in the morning and going paddleboarding or whatever.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people I speak to now say they don't want kids. Like most like 25, 30, 35-year-olds are like, oh no, we're not going to have kids.
Well,
And
I've met the person that I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
going to do it with.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm really happy and
And I'd never say to these people, oh, you definitely should. This is, I wouldn't say that to them. But what I do say to them sometimes is, oh, I hope you change your mind.
Yeah.
Just leave it with that.
Yeah.
Because, some people I speak to like, oh, I just want to ride my mountain bike or I just want to surf for the rest of my life. Like the dig crew at the bike park, right? The young boys, pretty wild guys, live in their vans and stuff, get paid barely anything, living in squalor, but having a great time.
Squalor.
So sometimes I get to work, I'm going somewhere with this. So sometimes I get to work at the bike park on a Sunday morning. I'm there at 8 a.m. I see their Instagram story from 2 hours ago. And they're in like the train station, like getting the train back from Aberystwyth. And they've been out all night. They got their t-shirt over their knees, trying to stay warm in the train station, waiting for that, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think I could not think of anything worse than being in that state now. When I was 19, I would have been right there with them.
Exactly.
Straight there.
So I think, okay, when I'm 60, am I going to be wanting to do the same stuff I'm doing now? Probably not.
No, probably not.
I'll probably be like, oh, I really want to go and watch Saturday football. That's my actual perfect day. He's got something on or whatever.
in your slippers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a pipe.
Having coffee in that conservatory is going to be looking pretty good when you're 60.
That's
today.
That's
exactly.
genuinely what your dad wanted to do.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
didn't want
definitely.
any hoopla, nothing. I'll sit here. We'll sit here. Yeah.
No, he just wanted to like watch me play tennis and then have a coffee.
Peace.
That probably is the best day for it.
That's
Peace.
awesome,
Something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't
And,
it such
So I
different
think-
times to like medieval times where you have to breed to like carry on your bloodline?
Well, yeah, and like
stuff,
half of them probably died and stuff, so you just like...
Yeah. Go forth and multiply.
Yeah, so
Go
even though,
forth and
you don't
multiply.
have to have kids, and I'm not going to preach for anyone
No.
that should, but it's a dangerous game to play, I think. Because if you get, especially if you're a woman, of course, if you get to 55 and you're like, I should have had kids, I think that'll be a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. You got married recently.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, brilliant.
Thanks for the invite. Just going to kill an elephant in the room.
Yeah. Oh, man. But you know what it's like with wedding lists and stuff? We don't have any money.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, we don't have any money.
Absolute nightmare.
So we can only have I think it's like 38 people here. We started with 20, we can have 20 people here. Okay, Rowan's got 3 sisters.
Damn it.
2 parents.
17.
Yeah, they've all got partners.
Yeah, there we
Rowan's
go.
got 2 parents. There's 10 or whatever.
Oh, it goes
Yeah.
quick.
Like,
Then
oh,
there's your brother and your other brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wedding lists are
couple of
real,
people, yeah.
really hard.
Like, it's only a little 2 or 3 hour ceremony in the afternoon. That's all we could afford. Big Gaz, the chef, said we could have the venue for free. Like, we don't have any budget for this. We just, I like the thing in the registry office. It's quite nice.
Oh, in the
I would have
council
been happy
building.
with that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
council building.
Little song playing.
Right.
I was like, that was nice. You went for breakfast then in town. I thought I'd be quite happy with that. Rowan's like, one a day, you know. Oh.
Yeah. That's kind of what they've been dreaming about since they were
Maybe.
a certain age.
Yeah. But nothing really changed because we did it backwards when we had the kids before.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes when you get married, you're like, right, now let's start a family. Now let's do this. But we've done all that. So it's just like it's not just a piece of paper. I do like the idea of it. We've all got the same surname.
Yeah, nice.
A family unit. I feel like I've got myself together.
Yes.
You know, I'm married. I've got a kid. I've got a business that makes money. I'm healthy. You know, what else is there?
When do you find the time to work out? Because I'm listening to your life here, and then you train people and things. Do you work out when they work out? Or
I do bits and bobs with my clients, but like I said, I only see about 5 people a week. So me and Big as the chef, we train together like 3 times a week. We do exactly the same stuff. But I'm not that busy. And so I wake up at 5 because once Rowan and Solly have got up, my day is very different. So I get 2 hours like uninterrupted on my laptop, done. And a couple of clients, I'm done by 11 a.m. most days. So I'm pretty free.
I guess because of your online
Yeah.
clientele and stuff like that. Wow, that's pretty impressive.
That's the dream, right? You think,
Yeah, of
okay,
course
I
it's
can
the
work
dream.
from my laptop from any internet connection. I'm spontaneous and free. And that's the goal, isn't it? You don't want money, you want freedom.
Oh, absolutely.
So I remember in Fuerteventura, you know, this year we're going to Fuerteventura for 3.5 weeks. Me, Rowan and Solly and Noriel. And I'll just do my work from a laptop there.
Amazing.
That is
Remote
the dream,
working
isn't it?
is amazing. Like when we were speaking to James,
Yeah.
it's like that kind of is the dream. It might not be the dream for everybody, but I think a lot of people it is, where you can remotely work, be on holiday, earn money.
My wage stays the same if I'm away, basically. I don't miss out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd experience it sometimes, and I would like be mindful of what's going on. I'm like in a beach cafe in Catillo. The last one before you go around to the lagoon is a cafe called Bagus.
Yeah. Actually, I was there on Easter.
I was sitting there with a coffee,
Nice.
my laptop, and like, the reef started working behind me. The tides dropped. Can you look after my laptop for half an hour? Boom. In the sea. You know, I'm thinking, man, there's like sand under my feet. This is working.
It's bagus, isn't it? I know the place. It means good in Indonesian.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good food there, and it's right at the front. So, you know, it's kind of working out. Yeah, everything's working out for me.
Nice.
All coming up, Millhouse.
But do you know what? I speak to... Sometimes people will say to me, like, I want to be a trainer. I think about being a personal trainer. I want to go online. I said, who's going to buy your programs? You just started. There's 10 million trainers online. How are you going to stand out from all those people? Yeah. I've got 20 years behind me.
Yes.
I've trained these elite athletes anyway. I've got the credibility. If you're starting from scratch, it's the same with these athletes I talk about and say, like, are you sure you're going to do this? I say, well, you got to give it 10 years. I say to these trainers who, you know, they're respectful, like, can I take you out for a coffee and just ask you some questions? And I'm like, it's gnarly, you know. How the hell are you going to, have you got the guts to do it? To go in on a Sunday for one session at 2:00 because that's when Karen can come in. And you're there, it's ruined your whole Sunday, you know, because you got one session on, so you can't go to the surf or whatever, and she doesn't turn up. And you get a text 20 minutes in, I'm not going to be able to make it, you know, my kids are ill. And you have to text back, it's all right, don't worry about it.
It's absolutely fine.
It's fine.
Years of that, where you'd have 5 clients back to back, and clients 2 and 4 cancel. So you got like hour on, hour off, hour on, hour off. You're like, just. But from the laptop, I do my work in my own time as long as I keep up with everyone, and you know, and then I just text them and check in and things, and it's pretty straightforward, and everyone wins through that.
Especially like, that is the dream, isn't it? 'Cause it's not like you've had to invest in your own gym. It's kind of like Uber.
Yeah,
They
my
don't own a
business
car.
cost is 0.
That's what I mean. You don't own anything.
Don't rent a gym.
You just got like your
Just
ability
laptop.
and your coaching and your laptop.
Phone.
That's it.
Yeah.
Overheads are minimal.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't
really
have a premises or a car or a
Pretty
loan.
nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you can get it right,
Yeah.
you can really do well.
And I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah. So you can, but I am limited. I can only work with 10 or 12 elite athletes.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You'll spread
Because they
yourself too
require
thin.
so much time.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of athletes, though.
Yeah, but then you could have maybe another 8 amateur athletes. So on my online subscription stuff now, I've invented the foundation, athletic foundation subscription. So instead of me planning you and then you something different, and then you something different, I've got this athletic foundation one, which is for like people who have active weekends. So it uses something called weekly undulating periodization. So you'd have like a week of hypertrophy, which is muscle building stuff, a week of strength and power, a week of conditioning, like the CrossFit stuff, and then a deload easier week. And that runs on a monthly cycle. The workouts are different every month, but you follow that same pattern.
Cool.
So if you're someone who just hikes and surfs or rides mountain bikes on the weekend, you don't compete at an elite level, you just jump on that and it's really cheap and it fucking works. It's so good. But you could potentially have 10,000 people on that
Exactly.
paying 40 quid a month
Yes.
if you get the marketing right.
Yeah.
I know the program works. I see there's about 20 people on it at the moment. The adherence rate is really high. It's like 80%, which is high.
What the adherence is in, the people stick to it.
Yeah, I can see what they're doing on my portal, on my laptop. So, people are completing 80% of the work overall, which is really high
That
for
is
a program.
really high.
So people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's varying loads. So they're like, oh, what am I doing today? So they like it.
It's not boring, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas elite athletes, there's not much variation. It's like bang, bang, same, repeat. But if you're not an elite athlete, why would you put your body through 6 days on, 1 day off for 5 months every winter?
You want to get to
Don't
the top,
bother.
don't you? No, exactly.
No, don't bother. So where people used to come and, can I employ you for this? I do this. And I go, do you know, I'm not your best guy. Maybe go to Fit for Racing or something, one of these other type of places that offer that thing. But I thought, well, why am I turning these people away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can invent something just as good. So I did, which works really well.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's hit some films.
Then you hit it, then, Dave.
Done. Favorite film?
Favorite film? That's a huge question,
Yeah,
though, isn't it?
It is big.
I like
What do you reckon?
Moneyball. I like The Big Short. I like
yeah.
these kind of thinking films about real things.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the film Moneyball? I told you to watch it a couple of years ago. You went
did.
impressed.
Brad Pitt. I think
Brad
I have
Pitt.
seen it.
I
Brad
haven't seen
Pitt,
it.
Jonah Hill's
Yeah.
in it. It was it's a real story. It wasn't that long ago, though, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, 2010.
It's the baseball film, is it?
Yeah, Brad Pitt's the manager of the Oakland A's. They've got a small budget of like 40 million a year to for their team. And they're competing against like the New York Yankees, who have got 120 million. And they realize that in fact what you don't need home runs they work out how to get wins based on averages.
Yeah, that's what the key was. It was, you don't have to win this game, but you have to get the runs in, or it was something like to get the averages up.
Need to
And
buy
that's how
home
you'd win.
runs, not players.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so if we get this guy who averages like 5 home runs a year, and that guy who averages 5, and that guy who averages 7, they're all 200 grand each. Whereas this star player who doesn't average the amount of home runs they have is 10 million. So they look at different players and different averages. They put like an algorithm together. This is real smart. Jonah Hill plays him, who's worked out like the scores of these things, and they're like, and they build like a ragtag team basically based on averages, and it gets really far. And they get this like 21 game win streak, which is like amazing. It only recently got broken a couple of years ago from these like bunch of misfits basically.
That's brilliant.
They didn't win the season, but they got really far. But it's a great story.
I like
From,
something
like,
like that.
from nothing, the cleverness. To
Yeah, and
the
at the
rise.
start, it's
Yeah,
not working.
awesome.
They're like losing a lot, and they're like, fire Brad Pitt. The gentleman fire him. He's ruining his team, and they're like, we just need a longer period, like longer.
It's like Mighty Ducks.
Yeah,
like
pretty,
the Bash
yeah.
Brothers.
the Viva the underdog, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good underdog story.
Favorite music? Band?
God, you know what? Music's an odd one because it's not your choice if you like it or not.
Well, that's open to debate. What do you mean?
If you like the sound of a song, you just like it, whether it's Backstreet Boys or
I get what you mean. Okay.
Oh,
so
you're
you
like,
okay.
oh, I like that.
I see what you mean, yeah. So it's quite broad then.
Yeah, so some songs give me goosebumps, some do nothing for me.
So what do
And
you
it's not
listen
my
to?
choice, and I don't know where it's coming from.
When you drive home now, what are you going to listen to?
What will I listen to? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Could be like 80s stuff. It could be metal. It could be
What do you listen to in the gym?
podcasts.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the van is basically a university on wheels. I
Yeah.
drive like a lot, probably 20 hours a week, and all I do is listen to podcasts about strength conditioning or nutrition or seminars on, barbells and things, just all day, every day.
Over the Falls back catalogue.
So yeah.
It's the best place
So
to listen to a
very-
podcast, I think, driving, because I used to do a bit of
Yeah,
driving with my
love
work,
it.
and I
Love
don't do it
driving.
as much anymore. And I don't listen to podcasts anymore because of that reason. I think driving and listening to a podcast is like the perfect combination.
Yeah, you got a coffee.
Yeah.
I'm in the van. I love it.
Yeah.
Favorite food? If you had to have like
Yeah.
one, go on.
Beef. Yeah.
Yeah, steak.
Stayed up.
Steak.
Ground beef at the moment. Ground beef. Yeah. Mincemeat.
Just because it's cheaper?
Yeah.
I'm guessing, because otherwise you'd probably pick. But yeah.
So I was buying 2 fillet steaks a night. It's 12 quid. I'm spending on steak every day.
Holds a lot of
shit.
money.
And 170 grams each, right? So 340 grams of fillet steak or ribeye steak, similar weight, a little bit heavy, maybe negligible. But for £4.50 or £5, I can get half a kilo of grass-fed ground beef.
Ah.
When you turn the packs over, it's the same. 100% red meat, it says. So it's the same nutritional value.
Okay.
It's just been like pre-chewed. right? It doesn't look as good as a steak.
Gone through a
Munched up.
But in fact, it's slightly better, I think, because it's, the butchers, they make the steaks and the rest they chuck to the side, and that's the ground beef. So in there, there's like loads of I know it sounds gross, but there's loads of like connective tissue, ligaments, and all that type of stuff. It's the shit you need, the collagen.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's probably more of that in there. So in this 500 gram pack of ground beef I have, there's 100 grams of protein, about 1,000 calories, and about 100 grams of fat. And I have that with 2 big avocados, and that's my evening meal, 7 nights a week.
Wow. Every single night.
Cooked in butter,
aims for butter.
covered in salt like a fucking winter wonderland.
No custard creams.
No.
Chocolate. Ice cream.
Oh yeah, I'm not shackled by anything. If I'm down the beach, I'll have a salted caramel ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not shackled by it. If we go out for a dinner, I'll have a pizza or whatever, but
Yeah.
I have a nutrition strategy 95% of the time I stick to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Makes
and
sense.
you know what? The ground beef cooks in like 8 minutes. The avocados are raw. So sometimes Rowan's got a Hello Fresh. She's like preparing it. It takes like 40 minutes.
It does take a bit of effort sometimes.
Yeah, and I just gone.
Done.
Yeah. See you
There's no
later.
ingredients in that food. It's just whole food.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
like I said,
I'm starving now.
Yeah.
I've broken both my legs twice. I've broken both my wrists. I've had lower back injuries and stuff, and all that stuff's gone. It's all gone.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't have any injury, no niggles, nothing. And
Best shape of his life.
Cool. Everyone happy?
Real
what about you?
One last question, I'd say.
Ooh.
A grizzly bear versus a gorilla. Who's coming out alive?
On what, ice or dirt or a hill?
We'll go jungle.
In a boxing ring.
Bit in the jungle.
I think the bear would
Grizzly
pass
bear is probably heavier, isn't it? And it usually comes down to that, I think, in Animal Kingdom, doesn't it?
It's a pretty close fight, isn't
What
it?
could a
Got
grizzly
claws.
bear deadlift? I reckon a gorilla would out deadlift it
It's got the
because of the
paws.
shape of its back and stuff. I can't think of a limit to a deadlift a gorilla could do.
2 ton.
More,
More, I suppose. Yeah, more than
Probably more.
2,000. Yeah.
What could these animals deadlift? There's got to be a way of doing it. Just measuring what it could pull against something.
Hang on.
a lure.
Animal Olympics. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
Well, I heard on the grapevine that someone wants to do the drug Olympics. So it's like
Yeah, just
I'm
go
up
for
for
it.
that. Yeah, no holds barred.
yeah, as in
Anybody
like
can do anything.
You can enhance yourself, do whatever, and
I think that's pretty much what we have anyway. But there'd
True.
be no coming back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Where would it go from there?
I like the idea of getting to the Olympics on merit. So you're a 100-meter sprinter and you get there on that. But then you have to go into a hat and pull out, say, oh, fuck, I got archery.
Yeah.
Like 100 meters got archery.
Like a klaxon goes
It's like-
off and you have to go, "Whoop." Oh no, what am I
What do I
doing?
do
Yeah.
today? Yeah.
Yeah.
so you got
That'd be good.
Olympic divers doing like the shot put.
Equestrian.
Yeah.
Oh god!
Or a cyclist,
Anything.
and then he's got to wrestle a Russian.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that English
That'd
guy
be
from
interesting.
100 years ago who was in the Olympics in like 6 events? What was his name? It was like Roger Black or something. But it wasn't
No,
Roger
he's the
Black.
runner.
Yeah, but he
Davy
played
Johnson.
rugby for England. He did archery. He did javelin. He won the mile time trial. He won
Wow.
everything.
What an all-rounder.
Oh
What a
my
guy.
god, what was his name? It was something super English, like Wentworth.
Yeah.
Ryan Pickford.
What Jesus could deadlift.
Right, we're done. Happy, boys?
Thanks for coming on, Rich.
Thanks very
much.
Thanks for your time, mate.
That was 41.
Thank you. That was episode 41.